the references, Dr. Andrew will be able to display that. And also, if you have used only one person, only one source, one author, to prepare that paragraph, you can start with the authored system, that is a citation, or you can finish with it. This is what these are the different parenthetical citations. For example, when you're doing it is the end of a paragraph, you want to put a citation at the end of a paragraph, you can use the first one. In this table, you use the first one. Into bracket, this is parenthesis. Some call it opening and closing bracket. And this is and let me go back a bit. We use the second name or the surname. If somebody has provided 3 names, you use the surname. If somebody has provided 2 names, you use the second name. For example, our lecturer, Dr. Andrew Nyongesa, you don't use Andrew. You use Nyongesa, 2025, then you open and you close the bracket. I hope I'm clear up to there. And that is when you have used one author to prepare a whole paragraph. But if you use different sources of information or different authors, to be precise, you can use the second type of narration. You can use the second type of narrations whereby you start with them either within a sentence, or you start, or either with the word according, or somebody discusses, something like that. So when there is an event of 2 authors, for example, Pauline Jage and Andrew Nyongesa, they have written a piece of information or an information source. Say it is a non-fiction piece or a fiction piece. So there is Pauline Jage and there is Andrew Nyongesa. They are the people who have written. Or start with Andrew Nyongesa and Pauline Jage. I'm giving you this contemporary example so that you can be able to at least figure out in your mind and see what we are talking about. So when you talk Andrew Nyongesa and Pauline Jage, they have written something, Dr. Sorry. What you do is you pick the second name for Dr. Andrew and the second name for Pauline. So what will you use? It will be Nyongesa and Jage, 2025, and you open and you close the bracket. In case there is another lecturer, for example, there is Dr. Andrew Nyongesa, there is Pauline Jage, and there is James Tutu. And that piece is written 2025. What you do, you pick Nyongesa, you pick Jage, you say Nyongesa, you open the bracket, Nyongesa, Jage, and Tutu. Then, without a comma, then you close the bracket. Another scenario, if these people, they are more than 3, so there is another one after Tutu, you now don't write all of them. You come, write Nyongesa, ET, this one, the third one, ET, all, then full stop, and then comma, 2025, then you open, then you close the bracket. And remember, when you put ET all, this is where there is people who have contributed that piece of work, they are more than 4. I hope I'm very clear there. And in APA, what we're supposed to do, this one, ET and all, we itemize. Itemize is when you see something is like it is bending. You italize, that is how you treat the ET all, where more than 3 others are involved. I hope I'm clear up to there. There are some other works which have been published by an institution. You can use the abbreviation of an institution if at all there is a page that is able to explain what are these acronyms and whatever. The acronyms and the abbreviations and whatever. For example, something written by Muranga University, you don't look for another author. Muranga University is the author. Others who are attributed to the work, they are called contributors or editors and whatever. So the author is the corporate body. So you say Muranga University, 2025. You open, then you close the bracket, or MUT, 2025. Then you open it, you close the bracket. I hope I'm clear up to there. So if you find work is written by a corporate body, Safaricom is written by Naivas, you don't start looking for an individual author if work is by a corporate body. Dr. Ondro, I hope I'm clear up to there.
Yes, you are clear. You're clear.
I continue?
Yes. Do I move?
Yes. Yes, continue. So we have references. References under APA, they are arranged alphabetically. And by alphabetically, we mean somebody, for example, Pauline Njagi has written a paper as an individual. Dr. Andrew Nyongesa has written another one. And James Tutu has written another one. So now here you don't interchange because there's a reference list. These are the people that you have used in your document. And you have used different sources, but the information is related. So what you do, you start with them between Nyongesa and Njagi. Nyongesa and Njagi. I think Njagi comes before, and then Nyongesa, then Tutu. So when you're wondering, I hope you can be able to see what I'm pointing here. There is a canaro down arrow under home. When you open either PowerPoint presentations or a Word document, there is a after font, there is a down arrow. Doc, can they see what I'm pointing?
You have not shared it, so they cannot see.
Oh, they have not shared it, eh?
Which one are you using? Which document?
The one that you sent. Can I share?
Unless I stop sharing mine.
Oh, it's okay.
If I stop sharing,
so
you can share. Do you want to share?
I can share so that I can be able to show. All we continue so that we might share and now encounter issues again.
Okay.
So I'm saying in one document, all in a PowerPoint presentation document, under home, because the way the window is arranged, you start with the file, then you go home, insert design, transmissions. This is PowerPoint. And even our normal Word document, after font, there is a down arrow. The first down arrow, between font and paragraph, there is a down arrow. When you click it, you'll be able to under your references. You under your references. There is something else between font up somewhere. There is an arrow. When you click, it will show you whether you are ordering descending or ascending. So you say you want to order them in ascending order. Then you highlight your entire references, all of the ones that are appearing in your body and in your literature review. When you highlight all of them, you click that down arrow between font and paragraph in your Word document or wherever. This one will take you to paragraphs and wherever. There, you can be able to either first line, normal, or hanging indentation. In APA, we use what you are calling hanging indentation. Another thing in APA, when you're formatting the document, for example, you have your first paragraph. After you put the incitation, when you're formatting, we say we use first line indentation. And all of these, they are in that down arrow. This down arrow, you go practice and see how that document look like. Every paragraph, you say it is a first line indentation. So first line, it will look like it is hanging and they start a bit far and the last 4 rows. And it looks very, very, very smart. Continue, Doc. This is how we do our references, we order. So basic rule, journal article, 1 to 2 authors. And this is just one author.
Hello.
And because M and K, yes, M and K, we cannot be able to say that we cannot try to start preempting what is M and K. So if they are provided the second and the third name as initials, you just use the first name. Johnson, comma, 2013. Then you remember to open and close the bracket if at all you are putting that reference at the end of your paragraph. We can continue, Doc. Okay. For work with up to 20 authors, including all of the names in the reference, when the work has so many authors, include only the first. Or this, for example, in a reference list, when you find the names are too many, This is, remember, this work is by Wiskunde, Aslam, Fishers, Noack, and the list is endless. So we say we use Wiskunde, et, all, full stop, comma, then you close the bracket, then 2025, then you open and then you close the bracket. But when it comes to the reference list as well, the people can be so many, the contributors can be so many. So to avoid your reference being too big, we say that you include the first 20 authors, the less we say that when the work has 21 or more authors, include only the first 19 names, anacrypsis, and the final names, just like that. So this one will help you to, at least to make your reference not to be very, very long. But it is a very exemptional scenario whereby you find either like a journal article with 20 authors. That one can never be a case. But if it's a book, you may find such a scenario is very, very possible. Continue, Doc. An article with no author or editor named, for example, HIV treatment reduced for malaria recurrence in children, infectious disease. This one, it is under corporate body, spell out the full names of a group or corporate author. If the publishers and authors are the same, omit the publisher reference to avoid confusion. For example, something by HIV with no author, you write by a corporate body, whether it is Liverpool, because those are the people very, very much owned by campaigns of HIV and whatever. So this one you put it by the corporate bodies and all corporate author. We continue. Also, in 7th edition, in APA 7th edition, place of publications is, I'm wondering, what is this? Oh, we are talking about the place of publications is no longer used. Sometimes you may find that this is in the references. This is in the references, but this is these are very, very advanced things, because when you copy when you copy the reference and you put it in your document, you find sometimes you are not told to format the references. Most of the time you're not told to format the references. First, let's focus on how to do citations and how to even format the the references. We continue, Doc. Translated work or published work. And you see now, there is this work which has been republished, Kuret S, 1951, physiological essay on probabilities, F. Kamau and L. Wafula, Dover's book, original work published. And this one, when you're citing, you use the both dates. Because you see, it was first published in 1910. But now it was republished, all. It was and done some kind of revisions and some kind of additions. So you put the two dates so that somebody can be able to see it was work which was published very long time ago, but it was republished in these current years. We continue. For work under magazines, magazine article, and you see this magazine, it is almost nominal, and sometime AP you may put the page number, but most of the time it is not a requirement. You may put the page number, but you see it will add weight. It is important you do that. Like this Anderson M 2018, you just consider Anderson 2018, but now it is Anderson into bracket. You remove the bracket for 2018 so that you can put a comma, so that Anderson and 2018 can be in one bracket, separated only by comma. There is another one here. It's called Complicated Nature of Graph, published in 2018 in Standard newspaper. So you just put the name of the news article in the page. That one, it looks so good. There is another one, how that effort to reduce ear surgeries for small children, the Daily Nation. It is by Jane. Remember, it was published in June 17. So this one, you don't need to put the month when it was published, but you just need Jane 2014. You can also include 2014, page. And when you say this is page, if it's just one page, where you've gotten that information from, you just put P, a small p, and a comma. But if it's pages 6 to 8, it is not one page. That information is staggered in between page 6 and 8. That's why you find 2P, it means it is pages 6 to 8. And you remember, when you put PP, you put a comma, then the numbers where the exact page location 6 to 8. I hope I'm clear. And when you're representing, I'm telling you, you open the bracket, you put Jane, comma, 2014, comma, PP, full stop, 6 to 8, then you close the bracket. I hope I'm clear up to there. Doc, we can continue. There is what you're calling in-text citations, and this is what I've said so much. If you are directly quoting from a work, you must include the authors, year of publication, and the page number for the reference. For example, you may have written a document that is, say, a one-page document. A one-page document, we don't expect to see more than 2 quotes. And if at all you're a serious scholar, we just want to see just a single quote. So because when you do overquote, quote is lifting information the way it appears from the original article and placing it in your document, because there is some content you don't want to lose by paraphrasing the work. So that direct quote put the year of publication, put the author, and even the page number. I don't know. Let me see. Is that okay? I'm good. So ensure that in your document you don't put a lot of quotes. It may make your document look very, 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 I don't know what the good term to use, but at least a single quote, even a 3-page research paper, it's okay. It's okay. Do not overquote. Also, to indicate quotations of few ones in your text and close a quotation within double quotation mark. Every time you quote, when you start the quote, put what we call the opening quotation mark. The two small marks. And when you end, you put the closing quotation mark. Remember, this is not opening and closing bracket. This is what you're calling quotation mark. Quotation mark. Also, there is what you are calling punctuation marks, such as periods, commas, semicolons should appear after the parenthetical citation. So I hope this one I've explained. I don't need to continue. But every time you want to quote, ensure that you do not overquote. We have an indirect quotation from parenthetical citations. Some psychoanalytics speak of illegal drug, which have more serious effects than Arya believed. You see what you have done? Open the bracket after full stop. It is written by Falk, 2013, comma, page 302. Remember what I've told you about page? If there are many pages, 302 to 304, you put 2 P's and a full stop, then you write exact place where you've gotten the work. But if it's just a single page, you just put a P, 1 P, and then you put you enclose. There is another indirect quotations with others as part of the narrative. There is this one. What you have done, it's like you are indirectly putting it like a narration of something. These are you started with FAL 2013. When you start with it, you do not enclose everything. The year, the author, the page, no. You start with them, with the author, then you enclose the year, then you say point that, or highlight that ancient Greek medicine is a major cause of mental disorder in Greek society. And you say it was in page P dot full stop 43, then you close, comma, which reflect current day understanding of the mental health. This is what we are calling indirect quotations as part of narration. Very, very key. Continue, Doc. There is another one we are calling a direct quotations with parenthetical citations. These are different ways of how you represent the APA. You can also start with according to. When you start with according, kindly try to see the difference between when we have talked about FAL into bracket 2013, we have continued before you finish, we have talked with page, then you finish the sentence. This is another quotations, how you represent your quotes. Also, according to Falk, into brackets. And see here, unlike the other one, there is a full stop. There is a full stop. But when you say according to Falk 2013, even when you're talking normally, you see, you need to at least stop, then you continue. Then this is a direct quote. Kindly mute your microphone. Then after that,
let's mute them. But I hope I will not mute the co-host.
Don't mute.
Okay, you can continue. Have I muted the co-host? Mm. Yeah, that's the problem. Sometimes when you mute, you mute everybody. That's why people should be disciplined, eh? Mm.
Okay, let us continue. Thank you, Doc.
Yes.
So we are saying when you're doing a direct quote, but you want to put something like according to file into bracket. Look at the way this one is. But now what they have done from a subculture is a group who have had significantly different experiences from those of most members of the society. This one has no narrations. It is quoted exactly the way it is. And that's why you find that there is an opening and closing quotation mark. Then there is a opening and closing bracket, and the page is indicated. To show you this information, you'll find it exactly the way it is. The way it is when you go to page 302, written by Falk 2013. We continue, Doc. We continue. When you're citing secondary sources, by the author you have read, cite both sources. Going by Farnham Post-Garrison, cited in Moremi 2020, authoring result in physics collapse, both praise both sources in the references. So these are the people who've been cited. Somebody has cited someone, and you have cited one. So ensure that both the sources appear. Both the sources appear in your work to avoid these issues we are calling your work not being credible because you're not showing the source. The next one. If a direct quote
Has
has
errors.
errors,
Mhm.
has errors, use the word seek after the errors. And you see seek, you open and then you close the bracket. You open and then you close the bracket. So you see, APA is not a, let me first finish this one. Continue, Doc. Continue. Wrong quotations, and we say long quotations, they are more than 40 words. In a freestanding block of typewritten double-spaced line and omit quotation mark, start the quotation on new line and indent the whole block. For example, there is these are very, very big quote here. The very big quote here. See the way it has been written. Falk into brackets 2013, point out that. Then this is the quote, but because it is a very long quote, you don't put opening and closing quotation mark. You just put full stop at the end, and then a P because it is page 53, and then you close the bracket again. So these ones, they are not things that you can just say that you have learned them today and you understand. It is called practice, make perfect. Every time you write an assignment, ensure you practice either narrative quotations, either can be direct quotations, paraphrasing and putting the citation at the end of your paragraph. All this way, And this is what you are expected to be doing in your paper. So if you do a paper right now, whether it is a term paper, whether it is an assignment, and you don't adhere to this, you cannot say you never knew. Because now you've been taught, try to interact, go download the APA 7th edition, try to practice with it. Where you find you're not understanding, kindly, we are just a WhatsApp chat away from you. You can just point it out before the unit is over, and then we lose ties. So it is important you take this opportunity well, ask where it is possible, consult, and if you find your fellow students are not giving the right thing, here kindly ensure that you ask us when you're in class. Even though we are not teaching that lessons, we can also always pick it up and explain the things that you'll not be able to understand. So, Doc, I wish to stop there. I wish we are good so that you can continue. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Jagi. Yeah, so
Yes.
she has talked about referencing in general, how to conduct insight citations, and so in scientific writing, this APA is very, very important. In-text citations is how you cite insight. You ensure that when you quote somebody, you mention the surname of the author, and in APA we just cite one name, the year of publication, and sometimes even the page, and then ensure that on the reference list, the name of the name of each citation appears, the name of the source you have cited from appears. All of them must be on the references. And sometimes they even want the do or I's and the links. Yeah. Back in APA, they also want the do or I, the digital object identifier of that particular reference. And this one protects you from plagiarism. It shows that you have acknowledged the ideas of others, because when you steal my idea without my permission, then you have committed plagiarism or intellectual theft. So anytime you cite from somebody, and we cannot avoid citing other people in scientific writing, because in literature review, you must first of all see what others have done in the topic to avoid replicating or repeating studies. If a topic has already been done, you leave it. And that's why literature review is very important. And so in scientific writing, we cannot write without citing others. There are people who speak on online there, oh, these scholars, they only know how to cite others. It's because they don't know scientific writing. The reason why we do literature review is not to copy the ideas of others. No, it is to find a gap for our study. Is to prove that our study is original, is to try and see if the study has been done or not. You see? And then after that, once we find the gap, we now move on and subject a theory to that topic and look for evidence to support our topic. And that's why referencing is very important. When we reference our work, we make our work scientific. That's number one. Number two, we protect ourselves from plagiarism. It's part of intellectual honesty. So when you write a term paper, the first thing for me to prove that this is a research paper, I go to the references down there. If I see that all the ideas you have cited have their sources at the bottom, then I say this is a scientific work. This is an honest writer. Yeah, but if you just steal other people's ideas and then you don't have a reference section, you don't have in-text citation, that is not scientific work. And Madam has done it. So I think what I'll do, this one I must also share this this PowerPoint with you. I will also share this PowerPoint with you, and then you make sure you write some notes. You write some notes. If somebody has a question, I think this is your chance. This is your chance. You can go to your Okay, I've seen people have written in the chats. Let me see if there are some questions you were just saying we can't hear you, we can't hear you. Not audible, not audible, we can't hear, we can't hear. Please send the notes on WhatsApp. Is it true that you did not hear? But how come some of you spoke and we heard? There are some people who spoke and even interfered with our lesson, and we heard until I strove to try and mute you all. If you have some question, you can post in the chat. But I also share the slides because you also need to look at it keenly, see how the citations are done. And we may also be open to a few of you. If you have some groups, you can write some paper and send to us to see how you have cited. I think I will allow you to do that. You can send to us a few papers by email. You can send by email. Let me give you my email here. Let me see if I can give you my email here so that I can receive some papers and look at them. What if there are different authors but wrote at different times? That is Abigail. Now, the different authors we are talking about, if there are two, we're talking about collaborative works. And somebody, in fact, Madam Ruguru was saying, if Nyongesa and Ruguru have written a book, have collaborated, yeah, yeah, you look at it, but always begin with the first author. The first author is always the most senior, and then follow with the second. But talk about surnames. So it's Nyongesa and Ruguru 2025. But in the reference section, you use a Nyongesa A and then Ruguru P and then 2025. But in the main body, you just say Nyongesa and Ruguru. You pick the two surnames. So we're talking about those that have collaborated in our work. I remember we said collaborative writing is very, very important because people bring different skills together and they make the work more reputable. So you have to read many books to gain knowledge for citation. That is Brian Mutua. Very good. Brian Mutua, that is it. Before you write a paper, read. Read. Have a number of sources. Read. And that one is also evidence that you have read. Because literature review, if read widely, it means you are increasing the chances of having an original topic. Because if you read 30 sources, before you settle on a topic, another person only reads two. The one who reads two will be lying to us, you see. So in scholarship, and I'm happy with what Brian is saying, in scholarship, we have to read widely before we argue. Like sometimes I see my students arguing because okay, I'm a literature teacher. So they think because they have read some primary text, they have read a few novels, they think they can just argue anything. Like before a lecturer settles on a position, yeah, he has done a lot of reading. He has done a lot of reading. And that's why even as we mark, let me remind you that we have marking schemes. Let nobody cheat you that lecturers just mark. No, we have marking schemes which we follow, and we have external examiners who are professors. They also go through our work to see whether we are marking properly. So university is not a place to just write anything. Some people think that high school, that's where people were strict. Here we can just write anything. In fact, your lecturers are more well-read than your teachers in high school. So ensure that you read. I'm happy with what Brian has said. That's a very good question. read articles, read books, but we talked about evaluating sources. Pick good sources. Articles published in reputable journals like Routledge, journals like Cambridge University Press, Oxford University. Don't pick predatory journals. There are those that publish for money. And if you just see a lot of grammatical mistakes, and that's why I want you to use my loft. Go to my loft or Google Scholar. Don't just go to general Google. You will find very low quality works there. I didn't understand indirect quotation with the parenthetical citation. So in direct quotation, the writer paraphrases what the book writer has said. You see, if Fanon is saying colonialism, okay, it's a systematized negation of the other. So Fanon has said colonialism is a systematized negation of the other. You don't quote exactly what Fanon has said. So use your own word. Say Fanon observes that colonialism is so much entrenched in the system and it marginalizes people to the extent that they suffer psychological problems. You use other words and then you now put the word. You put the source in the bracket. So in indirect citation, you paraphrase and you remember uh, uh, Madam Ruguru was talking about paraphrasing is a very important skill. Avoid a lot of, only quote small lines. Don't have a lot of quotes because you are not rewriting what the writer said. If you quote too much, you will be forced by the publisher to pay. There are some publishers, when you quote more than 300 words from their books, you have to pay the author because you have used so many words by that author. And that's why paraphrasing is very important. In paraphrasing, you use your own words. Use your own words. Use your own words to show that you have understood. Because the paper is yours. You are not writing what Nyongesa or what Fanon has said. So what if you decide to cite all information and reference it from the links in which you got the information? Or what if you decide to cite all information and reference it from the links? What do you mean, Elijah? Are you talking about copy pasting? You don't copy paste somebody's work. Paraphrase, read as well as understand, and see how it is useful to your study. Yeah, are you using it to expound? Are you using it to show your gap? Yeah, and then you now use your own word to say. Fanon says that political marginalization leads to psychological problem. But in this study, I want to show gender marginalization. You see? So that you use that source to show us where you are going. To show us where you are going. But don't copy paste everything. You will be caught. You will be caught. We have applications. We have an AI application called Turnitin. When we place your work there. By the way, me personally, even if you use AI, I will get you. I know how to use AI detectors. I will just copy paste what you have written and place it there, and it will tell me this is 92% AI generated. Msikiri lecturers ni wajinga kwa sababu sisi sio Gen Z. We are not Gen Z, but we know how to catch you. Like my students, sometimes they use that. And I just just by reading, I will just say superior English, but there is nothing specific from what I taught them. Superior English, but there's no content. And then I copy paste just 2 paragraphs. I place it in the AI detector, and it will tell me this is 95% AI generated. So wewe ni mwanafunzi, do not um, submit your consciousness to AI. Actually, in philosophy, AI is a person because AI knows what is right and what is wrong. So when you use AI to write your exams, to write your papers, it is cheating because AI is a person. So let AI assist you to get sources, but don't kill yourself. Personally, I write up to now, like even this weekend, I just wrote a full chapter and I finished. Yeah. But where AI assists me to get sources, I can ask it, give me a source on Nguki wa Thiong'o's, which has written on Nguki wa Thiong'o's book with a link. And it leads me to a source and I read it. You see? But I do not cheat publishers by letting AI do all my books. Yeah. And if I do that, like Routledge, they will catch you. Routledge have zero tolerance to AI generated work. Other publishers will allow, but as we told you last time, you have what called a closure statement where you say, I've used AI to write the conclusion. You see, you disclose a disclosure statement. Yeah, you disclose. But some of you were given some papers, you just go and generate. You will be caught. And some of your lecturers, hawataki hiyo mchezo, they will give you 1 or 0, or they will give you, and cheating again, if you are caught with phones in the exam, you will be suspended for 1,000 days. I think it's 1,000 days. So let's be careful. And as I told you last time, consult your lecturer to know his policy on AI. Lecturers have a lot of freedom. Na ni vizuri ujue lecturer anataka nini. Naona, like me, I don't like it. If I get you have written a term paper using AI, I will catch you. I don't want that. Because we don't want you to stop thinking. Yeah, we must think, but AI is a resource. It can help us to get the sources. It can help you to edit. It can help you to edit. You place the term paper there, and then you ask, identify grammatical mistakes, and then it will identify, and then you correct on the other end. But don't just copy paste. It generates everything for you. Don't do that, because again, we don't want the AI to think for you. So thank you for being patient. Today you have been very patient, and we have also been many in number. I will share these notes with you, and you can put yourself in some groups and you write some papers. Let me share my email here. I don't know if you know my email. My email is Nyongesa, Nyongesa at Moot, Nyongesa at Moot. So maybe just do something in a few groups and then attach to my email, so that I see whether you have understood in-text citations and referencing. And thank you for attending. Your numbers are good. Although I think I'm overpraising you. I think actually you're supposed to be 77. Yeah. So there is a big group. So if people are supposed to be around 94 to 100, so that people are not attending. And this is a very sensitive area. It is not very simple. It's very practical. That's why I'm encouraging you to do something, discuss with your friends. You can form some group and then submit some paper. Some of you can submit to Madam Ruguru. I don't know. Can you look at their term papers if they sent? Don't know if you are with us or you are gone. All right. Seemingly she's not with us. So that is the end of our lesson. Let's continue doing activities. I think I've opened the session for you. Let's do the activities and have a great day.